got the 9. And okay, so it looks like the real, yeah, this is all movie making, you guys. She's an actor. Whoever's playing that person is an actor. The real one, they went in hiding. Things got really, really difficult. And her and her children anyway, and maybe even Charlie himself, they all went in hiding, or at least her and the kids. She's in hiding. This is a psyop. Everything you see about her. So the woman they've got out there is a psyop, and it looks like they're using her and the whole story to really drum up support for, I guess, their agendas. Because when you look at, that's exactly what the deep state does too. For years, they had the shootings, the school shootings, to try to take away the guns and to take away all your rights. They had 9/11. That was a huge psyop. Like, people died in it. People die in psyops. Doesn't mean it's all faked, by the way, but sometimes people die in it. But it's like, then add the idea of false flag, where they're saying it was this, but it was really that. Anyway, they got a different flag hanging on the situation. So you're looking at a situation that was done by someone different than you thought it was, right? Flip it all around. That's a false flag. And then a psyop is when almost nothing about it is real. Okay, so it's like, oh my goodness, this is so confusing. But yeah, things were getting really hard. So it looks like her and her kids went under, and maybe him too. All right. She doesn't seem to want to tell me about him yet, but like, it's either he died earlier and or was taken out. I just get the energy of taken out. So does that mean taken off the scene? Does that mean went under with her? I don't know, but she's undercover, safe. Okay. And she may not ever surface again. Maybe they're going to change. Maybe she'll cut off all that gorgeous long blonde hair of hers. Maybe she'll, who knows, dye her hair, like get the kids looking different, change their identities, but they're gone. Like, they could be gone for a long time. Okay. See this 8 of Wands. Okay. So there's a lot of things they're using this for. They're going to use her. They're going to use her, like drumming up all that emotional energy. It's fascinating to me. Okay, so let's see what that's all about. So no, that's not her. That's an actress playing her. They're using the brand, it looks like, and they're going to go forward using the brand for all kinds of things, all their agendas. So now this is the White Hat Alliance agendas. They're trying to get us to look at how psyops look, because they made this one so obvious. I'm sure they're trying to teach us about psyops. Okay, let's have a look at, and get you to look at all the rabbit holes, right? They're trotting out all the reasons and all the things, like who it could be, and they're running by several scenarios. So everyone really hones in on and sharpens up their skills. That's what they're doing. They're training us, you guys. We're in PSYOP 101. Okay, we've been in it for a long time. It's getting really boring, actually. I'm bored of the theater myself. I'm gonna tell Trump to, could you guys please, like, you guys, the White Hats, could you please move past this? It's getting old. But anyway, that's what they're doing. Okay, so now we're looking at the emotional drama. So it is really emotional drama. Okay, so they're bringing the energy over to their ball court, it looks like. So they're trying to swing the emotional drama. Okay, because it was getting taken up by, think about your kids, talk to your young ones. Like, my son's in university. My daughter's actually in art college too. And so she sees it. She's only part-time in Emily Carr, and my son's in a university in Vancouver. But the thing is, their emotional drama has all been around Palestinian issues and all kind, like mostly Palestine, to be honest, right? And I feel like they're trying to move the dial so it goes over to where the White Hat Alliance wants the emotional energy to go. Okay, so they're moving it over to their causes and their stuff, which makes sense. Okay, it makes sense. And makes sense that they'd want to do that, because it's been really commandeered for a really long time with all this other stuff that's all created and was created, I believe, by the deep state. Okay, so they're moving the dial and showing you in the war that they got the upper hand on it. And that's what it looks like. And the dial will soon move over to otherworldly aliens, and or maybe when we say aliens, we even mean illegal aliens, maybe we mean literally otherworldly beings and off-planeters and or people that were created underground. Like, I don't know, I think it's an all-encompassing word when White Hat Alliance uses the word aliens and when it comes up in the cards. But anyway, I think we're going to move that dial's going to be moved again. So they're just preparing the public here. It looks like they're marinating everybody for the next big event, which looks like it's coming right up here. I'd give it three weeks or so. Yeah. I don't think it's months anyway. It's probably by the end of this month and early next. Wow. Things are wild. Okay. So now let's move on to, the video. We got to play the video that she put out here, or supposedly her, but like her brand. Let's have a look. It's outrageous what's going on here.
I love you. I love you. I know. I love you. I love you. God bless you.
It's a cringer. I just want you guys to notice the hands. So they're showing some buttons. They're showing some, not even as, like, it's just too weird. Who does that? Unless she's a total narcissist. Who does that? That they're going to make his all about herself. Who does that? Like, that's just weird. And a bunch of people are commenting underneath it. Well, it's just grief. And grief. I've seen so many versions of grief and never did I see it look like that. That's absurd. Okay. And also have a look at the hands. Okay. Those are some little person's hands. Okay. I know they say they put a lot of makeup on bodies. Those hands look like a small woman's hands. Okay. They don't look anything like, she's got bigger hands than him. And I know I have really big hands for a woman. Yeah, I get it. Could be that she has the big hands and the family has the small, but there's something weird looking about his hands. Okay. Anyway, never mind. The whole thing is cringe. Okay. So tell me what you think in the comments. You can get mad at me all you want. I don't really care at this point. I know my intuition's off the charts with nothing about that's real. That is not a grieving woman. No grieving woman in her right mind with little kids would be on a video, like somebody said it, dry humping her man's corpse. And maybe you're thinking I'm being crass. That's literally the energy that it looks like. It's absurd and embarrassing and horrifying, frankly, horrifying. Okay, so let's have a look at what the hell is she doing there? What's up with that? Why would they put that out? What are they trying to embarrass Charlie Kirk's wife? Like, I don't get it. I just didn't get that one at all. Like, was that a mistake? Like, yeah, let's have a look. Or a big comm. It's got to be a big comm. So the death card and the king. So something that's been dying and moving over to, okay, this is almost looking like the financial system. Okay, that's wild. Yeah, we've got two kind of financial looking cards, and this can be about financial systems, abundance, generosity, a generous system, the death of the old and the incoming, something's incoming, cause to celebrate. So we're saying goodbye to something there, but it's not about Charlie Kirk or anything to do with his wife grieving or anything. This is about something totally different. Yeah, we've got money cards all around it and even an abundance card. There's a new system coming in. We've been talking about a new system coming in for a long. I have no idea. I'm going to need some QAnons to really explain this one to me. But that, believe it or not, was a comm about the money system changing and getting more for the people. And I know that's coming. Okay, it's just a matter of how it's going to look and when it shows up. But I'm hoping real soon, because there's a lot of people hurting, guys. A lot of people hurting. Okay, so wow, crazy times. Now we're going to go to the situation in the UK, which is just off the charts. If you look on my social media, if you're in the UK right now, and anywhere near these areas where there's these huge demonstrations, looks like it's inner city London. Let us know if you've got eyes on and or boots on the ground here. Okay, we want to know if, because it looks like it's outrageous, and it's all the UKers finally standing up for themselves and finally saying no to all the totally absurd illegal immigrating practices that have been going on for a really long time, where they're just bringing in people, mostly men right now. For years, it's been men, not families, and not vetting them at all, just letting them come on in and giving them all the resources and nothing for the people. None of that makes any sense to a country that, like a government that's for the people. None of that's for the people. That is obviously an agenda, and it's definitely a very dark-seated one. Okay, so the UKers are stepping up and really yelling about it, and very similar to the Nepal situation. So in one of the most peaceful countries, Nepal and Tibet, there's a huge uproar going on where they literally took over, and this is happening in the last week, took over the government buildings, kicked out the government agents, stripped them bare, literally. There's pictures of them walking in the, carrying them in the streets with all their clothes off, except for undies or whatever. And they, who knows? I haven't read, did it get violent where some of them were killed? I'm not sure. But they burnt down the government buildings. Okay, so let's play that one. Just listen to how it sounds. Okay. So it's literally like civil war there. It looks like civil war, to be civil unrest for sure. Okay, to say the least, maybe not war. Okay, so I believe that the UK is going the way of this. Okay, so that's obviously the government's coming down, and I've been saying the governments are coming down all over the world for a really long time, and I know it's happening, and it's been happening. There's been lots of, like, France is also having a situation where it looks like Macron's going to be the next one to go. That prime minister already got the boot. Like, things are coming apart at the seams because they've been fake for a really long time and illegal and operating only WEF plans for a really long time. Okay, and then coupled with that, we're in a silent war. It's not very silent anymore, but we're in an information war, and we've been in it for a really long time. Okay, so you guys know I've been saying that for a really long time. Let's have a look at the UK situation. Is it going to lead to that government being taken down like it happened in Nepal just recently? Wow. Truth and integrity. I feel like all of those video footage that you're seeing are circulated, aren't made up. They're real. And they're about justice and balance. So they're showing you. So they see, it seems to me the White Hat Alliance chooses different areas to let things happen, where false flags happen or real situations happen and develop after being pushed. So the people get pushed with all the deep state agendas right in your face. They've been speeding those up and really pushing them in everyone's face. If you just look at any of the governments all over the world, none of them are working for the people. Every one of them are doing everything against their own people. It's outrageous, and it's showing us that you can't trust these guys. Who's the real enemy? That's what it's been showing us. And I feel like each country has a part to play in the big theater of politics. Okay, so the big picture, and of course, the cards always like the big picture, and I definitely like looking at the big picture just to try to understand it. Okay, is they agreed, like how the cards have been playing out, is it looks like a lot of what you see is theater just to get your attention to this. But what's going on there is real. they finally got the UK people to actually stand up for their rights and to actually say no more, this far, no further, that sort of thing, right? So they're standing up for themselves, and the people are spiritually have grown a little bit here to step up to, because this is, what are the people doing? It's not even, right? So this is my old soul card, but when it's in this place, or this place, these placements, it might talk about the alliance, or it might talk about a spiritual guide, depending on the question. But because it's in the middle here, it feels like, and that's about the people and the general population, they've actually got in touch with their soul, the soul of UK, the real deep inner desire to stay as a country and take their country back from, like, literally illegal aliens, literally. Okay, so whether that's we don't know where those people are from. We don't even know for sure. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it there. Okay, yeah, it seems outrageous that they're just scooping up people from who knows where and just dropping them off. Nobody's vetting them. They're getting all the food, water, like they're getting everything, all the housing, like regular folks are literally getting pushed on the street for these people. And it makes no sense. It's not because they like the people or they want them to make a new country. They just want to displace the other people. It's like it was a deep state plan, and now it's being played out. So we'll learn from it. That's what I believe. Okay, so the hermit says to me, they've actually grown spiritually to even do that. So this is a big spiritual growth moment. And of course, it's probably aligned with that new moon the full moon that happened sort of last weekend. That was the Pisces full moon. And then, of course, the eclipse. So we're right in this just coming out of the full moon in Pisces, and then the eclipse season. And it's like that eclipse. This was a doozy, you guys. It's eclipsed relationships everywhere. It's eclipsed countries. It's eclipsed. Yeah, it's really astrologically, it's all of this is being driven, in my opinion. Okay, so here we've got the Four of Swords. So then it goes back. So it doesn't right away do civil. Something else comes up that takes everyone's attention. So I don't think it goes to the Nepal crescendo. Okay, so that's how I'm going to leave it. And but something else comes up and we move in a new direction. So it's like we're getting yanked all over the place. Let's hope this really does lead to the end of this theater. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching my video. Take care, and I'm sending you all ravens. I'll see you on Monday with another world news. Bye-bye. Yeah, it's big. Okay, yeah. See the world there in the past? Something's already shifted, and it's like we're on a whole nother plateau, and we've gone to new plateaus before. But this is interesting. We don't see it yet. This one's going to take time for us to notice. And maybe some of these things that are happening for people not sleeping, etc., might be partly because of that. And it could have something to do with that video, because right away what popped in my head was that Rosanna Barr video we showed where she was saying, how did she put it?
She said there was going to be a reboot here. I think it was a day or two after August 8th. So she said the whole world was going to reboot here. And Rosie O'Donnell also came out on the same day saying there's something weird happening. But Roseanne Barr was talking specifically here about this reboot. So, and that it was big somehow. We decoded that, and there was something to it, as if she had, whether she knew it or not, but she had a calm to play out, I think is how you worded it last week when you pulled cards on this. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think this might be connected to it, or it's similar to that. Okay. Because I feel like we've shifted somehow in the background, and it'll start to create itself over the next month or two, like where we really start to notice. And some people that are really sensitive might have already noticed something.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, a lot of people are saying that in the chat already, some of these symptoms here, including the whispers. A lot of people are having those already, I'm told here. So that's interesting. Okay, keep going, Janine.
That
What are you
is
trying?
interesting.
Yeah.
Now, the hanged man, so it's becoming enlightened through hardship. So it has something to do with the evolution of mankind. That's what's kind of making it so big, and where I went with that Roseanne Barr, what she was saying, because it feels as heavy as that, especially the world. The world,
Yeah.
you're stepping up. It's like we've stepped up, and we can't ever go backwards from that. I feel like with that world card, once you reach a plateau, the old way disappears, and you can only have the memory of it. We're now in a time in the world where we've never been here before. Okay.
Mhm.
And we're stepping into this whole new threshold and level of where we can go with it. And I'm glad you're going to share that video you shared with me earlier, because I feel like it might actually help us. Some of
Huh.
what that guy says could actually help people, because we're in all new territory. Okay. And it's going to feel treacherous or scary, or it'll bring up fears. So we have to navigate it. We might need to really look at how are we navigating it. We absolutely can't be sleeping at this time. Like, you know what I mean? We have to be awake and really conscious of choices we make, steps we take, how we proceed, kind of thing. Right. So this is being careful and taking it step by step, and really examining how we're feeling at every step of the way. And it's good we discuss it on the show. We often talk about it. We get the whole audience talking about it. I think it's important for us to look at everything that's happening, and not just whisk it under the carpet. You know what I mean? Like, we are feeling weird, and there's weird things. And as a collective, we're having this similar symptoms. So I feel like it is important to talk about it right now. We'll get further if we communicate and stay together somehow. And we're going through this together, because it's going to get a little scary, because we're in territory we've never been. As humanity's in a territory it's never been. Now the next, so as things go here, we've got the Two of Cups, the coming together. And this is in the regular folks placement down the middle here. So I feel like there's going to be a really big amount of people coming over and really wanting to understand what we know, because they're going to feel like they're going to start feeling this shift, but they have nowhere to put it. And at least we know we signed up for a big change. We know that humanity's evolving. We got these ideas about it, and we talk about it on the regular in the community. I feel like they're going to come over looking for some community. So we could see another big surge of people coming over.
Mm-hmm. Wow,
And
that's
here, yeah, and we got the Ace of Cups, so that's a creative card. There's a lot of creative energy, lots of creative ideas coming. Like you were talking about things being whispered in people's ear. I don't know how this comes, but it feels like if you're a creative person in any way, and I think all of us in some way are, be prepared to feel inspired creatively. And it could also be a really emotional time with all of these cups across the bottom. Lots of emotions stirred up.
Okay. I'll leave it at that. I think that's fabulous. I'm as you were saying that, I just had 3 ideas about the Whisper, 3-Eye Atlas, and this creative alienation concept here that I want to try to get across with you guys today. I saw this video, and I think we should talk about it. Mm-hmm. So more of I guess an existential kind of show here tonight, a more deep thinking show, trying to understand here what's really happening behind the scenes outside of the ruckus and the news cycle. What's really happening to humanity right now? So let me bring you to this tweet. Let's see if we can get to it here, and I'll share the link as well to the audience members who want to follow along. Where did it go? Of course, I just lost it before we went live. This one here. Okay, so let me bring that up for you guys here. So it's part of an interview here with Terence McKenna, and there's a little bit of animation towards it, but I quoted creative alienation for freedom. as my ideas as how I would highlight this video for you guys. So you can go find it on my Twitter. I'll actually bring the link down for you guys in the live chat as well if you want to go watch it. It's about 15 minutes. I'm not going to play it here this evening, but you guys can go and watch it. Essentially, we've talked about him a few times already in the last month on how we were going to get into this quickening or this end of time where everything is happening at the same time. That was one of the first video we discussed, you and I, Janine, and I think I had a conversation with Jay Widener also about it. And people are feeling that right now. We're seeing that happen in real time, that everything's happening at the same time, right? And so it's disconcerting for a lot of us, but the fact that it was predicted and that apparently there was no other way for humanity to evolve to the point we're at now is very interesting, because it also gives us insights as to what perhaps is on the other side of that, right? And on the other side of that, in this video, Terence McKenna is talking about humans being more connected to this global consciousness, whereas now, for the most part, humans believe that they're kind of individuals and detached from global consciousness, and we're working very hard to connect with other people and to consciousness, and we're just now starting to understand that we're in this big soup with everybody else, right? And as we're doing that, we're getting this Kolmogorov effect as humans, to where we are starting to learn, perhaps by osmosis. If I'm connecting to Janine, I'll understand more of her life path and her lessons that she's learned through life, and that makes me a better person, right? And the more we connect with each other and get this group meld of human experiences, we can evolve a lot faster. And I think that's what's happening right now. It started happening probably in essence with the printing press, and then it happened again with the internet, the cell phones, and to some extent we think that this technology is not serving us, but it is also bringing us to another place to where perhaps we're sharing pheromones through electronic means, and now we're getting this Kolmogorov effect here of creating this larger sentient life here on the planet. And that was part of that video from Terence McKenna. But he said one of the fears in all of that is that we would lose our individuality in all of that. And that's frightening to us, because we, for the most part, feel as individuals as opposed to being part of this collective, right? And what he was saying is you can kind of have your cake and eat it too, if only you find these, what he called creative processes by which you alienate yourself from that collective. And there might be pockets of area to where that can still be very, very fulfilling, and also have the benefits of being a higher evolved race, consciously connected to the point where we don't need the controllers that we have today, to the point where the controllers that we have today become irrelevant and kind of go away on their own, because we're no longer controllable at that point when we have this bigger group mind. So I think it's fascinating as a concept, and I've been chewing on this video all day today. So let me ask you this, Janine. If we were to look at his first prediction of where we were going to be, he made this in the 80s, that we would be at this time where everything is happening all at the same time. He hit it out of the park with that one. But in terms of this acceleration of us moving into this global consciousness field, how close are we to that target? And what he, I guess, opines in a way being the ultimate evolution for humanity from which we have no escape. And this is why we're seeing all of the powers that be throw everything they can at us for that not to happen, because they become irrelevant in that case. And that's why perhaps all of this chaos is being thrown our way, and perhaps where we're seeing the targeting, as you've just explained at the beginning of the show. So where are we on that timeline of this jump in evolutionary consciousness here for the planet, Janine? Did I do a good job putting that together? Maybe some of you have watched the video. I'm trying to sum up a big video here to have this conversation with you guys. I hope you guys are following with us.
I think we're some years out. I don't think we're right on top of it.
Okay.
I think we got some years, but we're getting there, and we're along the path. And we've got the strength card in the middle. I think we've already taken some big steps forward. Like that world card even indicated, we've actually gone to some plateaus already. So we're on our way, but I don't think we're all the way there. I could even say like we've got 4 to 6 years to be
Okay.
all that, like what he's describing.
And one of those concerns, again, and when he said it, I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I don't want to be part of a group. I hate groups. I want to be me. I want to do me. I want to be me in all of this, right? So, but I do want the benefits of perhaps being part of a bigger, more self-aware, more evolved consciousness. Absolutely. It goes back to what in the Bible Jesus was saying, one day you'll do what I can do, right? So we have all of these abilities, and if you go watch the Cliff High's manifestation video or assumption video on laws of attraction, you'll understand what we were talking about here too. So we're on the verge of that transformation as a human race. And in 3, 4, 5, 6 years, it's still on the verge, given the length of time we've been here playing this game on the planet. But the fear of losing that individuality, similar to what the Borg seem to be overlaying and instilling upon us in Star Trek, right? This is a collective AI. They go in, they consume these worlds, and they take people's individuality and add it to the Borg collective. Are we on that path with all of the tech that's being used right now? All of the bad actors that are trying to keep us into a box here so that we don't evolve as a planet? Are we at risk of that? If you want to do clarifiers. Oh, you're muted on your side, Janine. I can't hear you.
I think sorry, my cat was yelling at me. I think we're going to need really good boundaries for that not to happen. We'll have to be really, really discerning and have good boundaries. But we're not, no, we're not, we could be, like, it doesn't say no. It doesn't say yes, we are. It says, well, there's things to do to ensure we don't.
Well, yeah. Mardev999 says resistance is futile. That's the saying of the Borg, but I would say no, it is absolutely not futile to resist. That's very interesting. So it could be is what you're saying here, but humans have agency in all of this, and we can change that that trajectory, if you want to call it. Somebody's asking me, JC, you're referring to Cliff's timeline. I'm not sure what timeline you're referring to, and no, I'm really talking about this Terence McKenna a video here of the human evolutionary process and the mix-up that we seem to be in now. Part of what he was saying in that video too, let me bring the poster up again here too. He was suggesting, he's a funny fellow here, he was suggesting that we have a morally bankrupt governance system around the planet, or intellectually bankrupt system, to where the leaders right now are so effing dumb and stupid. They're not working on behalf of what's best for humanity at this point. They actually know that everything is broken or on the verge of collapsing. People watching this show see that every day watching the news. They get the bigger sense of that picture being played out. And of course, so too are the powers that be, or the powers at war. And what he's saying here is we have this syndrome of all of these people in power who their only goal is to kick the can down the road. They're like, well, I don't want it to break on my watch, so what can we do to just push the can down a little bit further without fixing anything, without dealing with the underlying issues that have brought humanity to where we are today? Again, fascinating video. Guys, I wish you can go and watch it. If you want to, again, you'll find the link on my YouTube. So now going back to this creative alienation, on one hand, saying that, it kind of sounds like, well, JC, I don't want to be a recluse. I want to participate in humanity and all that. And I don't think that's what he was saying. I was thinking on a spiritual, personal level, and on a very deep self-mastery level, finding those pockets of alienations to where you detach from the world perhaps might be that key to not get into that resistance is futile scenario you're talking about there. So can I have you shuffle here, Janine? And feel free also, if you want to speak to the heart about this, because we're trying to get into a deeper conversation about how we do that as humans right now, where social media, the pressures of all that is cooking us up into a storm of perhaps using us to manipulate through our creative powers the timeline that the negative people would want to create, while at the same time we need to understand and break away from that and one say no, we don't want to vote for that future, but at the same time break it away from that enough to be able to self-center, to get into self-mastery, and then start creating for ourselves, as opposed to this group think or this group creation process that is being used by all of these magi's and occult rituals that are perpetuated on us here on a day-to-day basis. So what does that look like? What does universe have in terms of advice for us to be able to do exactly that creative alienation, to where we cultivate the self-mastery while at the same time help and bring that cultivation, help move humanity and its global consciousness in its highest good version of things, as opposed to what's being played out now. Let's see what the universe has to say.
Okay, I'll chime in first.
Sure.
My thoughts about it. I think we would need to, and I've been trying to practice this my whole life, individually pursue spiritual connectedness. So not in a group. That's the part you don't need to do as a group. Individually connect soulfully. I have my own way of connecting. I developed it. Some of it I was taught by this medicine man, or just given some pointers anyway. And then I took it on my own. It's almost like my soul is teaching me it. I had a little bit of, like, at least helping me move away from sort of the normal ways that people's, or the usual ways, certainly my family background would have experienced spirituality. So teaching me to give myself permission to just feel for myself and listen to my own instincts and intuition. And now I personally connect when I'm in nature, and it just happens naturally. So animals and what nature's doing, everything around me, when I see certain stones, it feels like they talk to me. Like it opened up a whole new world, but it's very personal. I don't almost never talk about it, except once in a while on the show to share information like that, like what I'm just doing now. But I don't talk about it in my everyday life. It's very personal to me and individual. And I feel like everyone's going to need to find their way of connecting spiritually to their soul, find a way to communicate to what that bigger voice in you.
Right.
When I was listening to the video that you sent, and I didn't hear the whole thing, I just went maybe half of it. So I'll have to listen to the whole thing. But what I was feeling was, what he wasn't saying was that maybe he gets to it later.
Okay, very good. Now, yeah, so going back to the question of universe, what does it want us to know, or is there advice for us, for the people watching the show here, on how to cultivate that creative alienation, while at the same time bringing back the success of that and the benefits of that to our collective here, as we struggle for our independence, our freedom, and our ability to create the future we want, void of the rituals that are being hoisted upon us right now. What's that advice? What does that look like? And then I'm going to tie this into the whisper thing. So stay tuned, guys. It's going to get a little bit deeper, and pay attention, because we're going to be giving away some cool prizes tonight. We have some more t-shirts here from Carla at Ascension Organized. Thank you, Carla, for the beautiful t-shirts. Everything there on ascensionorganized.com, guys. 10% off if you use the coupon code Beyond Mystic. We'll be giving away tonight one of those Beyond Mystic t-shirts, and also a Sending Ravens t-shirt tonight. So pay attention to all these keywords, guys. Okay, Janine, what's the advice there?
Well, this is ourselves. So, energy to take ourselves, or what to put forward. Because we asked, how do we do this? Basically, that was the way I asked it, was, how do we get to this goal?
Okay.
How do we get to the goal? So she's self-loving, takes care of herself, but is also generous with others. And it's really well aspected. So, and with the world underneath in particular. So the more she's self-loving, the more she can become generous. True self-love isn't narcissistic love. That's a needy love. It's her self-loving is when it's really healthy. She loves herself enough to see herself in everybody around her. So when she sees someone, needs calming down or whatever, she feels, okay, when I need calming down, what do I appreciate? Oh, I really appreciate somebody, for myself, it would be pouring me a nice tub, putting some essential oils in the tub, smudging the room, you know what I mean? Making me a good cup of coffee, asking me if I want to talk about something, right? So whatever way that is, like self-love, and then being open to nurturing others, but you can't nurture others unless you're taking care of yourself. So keeping that in mind. So we're not talking about martyring yourself and taking care of others. We're saying self-love, give yourself enough so you have even enough to share with others. Okay. And then and that's why I said share with others, because this card. Okay. So now it's giving to others. Okay. And creatively giving to others. So you got somebody sitting here and they're a little closed off emotionally, that Four of Cups. So you give them in a subtle way, because this is subtle. There's a subtle giving. Okay, so you're not pushing it on them. So like in a way, you're already taking care of yourself, but now you have taken care of yourself enough that you have abundance to share. She created abundance within herself because she makes sure she takes care of herself. Then she has extra energy to give to others. If you're not taking care of yourself, you will be depleted in energy. You're the only one who knows how to do it. So develop a loving friendship with yourself. Talk kindly to yourself. Be your own best friend, and you'll be abundant to help others when they need it, or people you love when they need it, right? And then share with others your abundance. So when you have something to give, share. So I feel like that's the universe thinks that's going to be important. First, everyone's going to need to be in on the truth. So I feel like that's why it's going to take some time. Like it didn't look like we were all the way there yet in that first couple of readings we were looking at. Right. I feel like it'll take some time because we still need to know the real truth about how we even got to where we got to, and how did we get in that position, and what really happened, and what were they really doing, and all that kind of stuff. We need the truth out in a broad sense first. Right. Okay. Then the nurturing ourselves, nurturing others, and the Fool's in the middle. Okay, so allow a lot of freedom. So whatever we're creating going forward as a group, whatever we agree to create going forward, give a lot of leeway for people's personal interpretation of things. And I feel like that's not always taken into consideration in today's world. There's ways that the woke say they're doing that, but they actually don't. They actually limit you to only think their little woke thoughts, right? Yeah. This is true.
They shame you. They shame you into thinking their own. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just not making assumptions. And going by people's what actually how they're behaving in society, or however you're interacting with them, and not necessarily little minute details about what they're doing. Like, what are they doing on their land? What are they doing? How are they being when they're interacting with you or the community? Okay, gauge it on that sort of thing. Okay, so the near future, we've got the 10 of Cups here. So as they go forward, we have to ensure that we never be dumbed down again. Okay, so we can't be dumbed down again. We can't go into that illusion again. So we might have to take away some of the tools that dumbed us down, like the television when it first came. Right. Like news stations, that across the board are all saying the same thing. I'm hoping that in the next 6 years, those are things of the past, frankly. Okay. I think we need more local information.
Well, So in that second half of that video that you haven't watched, Terrence does talk about communication, and he's talking about how in the past, I'm going to see it's more at the end here. He was talking about how control came from one to many, right? So that broadcasting station to the government telling you the truth ministry broadcasting that to many, and now because of innovation, because of technology, we can have the any to any, or the one to one, as opposed to the many involved in curating that truth, right? So now we can share at every level without that implied knowledge of or expectation that, oh, those are the experts, we only need to listen to those, right? So that has already changed and has already occurred. And what he was saying is that is going to have a huge transformative effect moving forward. And this is part of that big awakening part. Two, what you just said there in the cards, and very well put out cards, by the way, Janine. A lot of people are commenting that makes sense to them here tonight. It occurs to me that doing this creative alienation to where you separate yourself from this kind of weird collective funk that we're in right now with the mainstream news and the chaos that's being created and generated in some part by us, will help us actually connect to source. Because once you go inside and you cultivate that self-mastery, you're in a much better position to actually connect. So it's kind of like, I don't know how to say it. It's the irony of going out alone to be able to connect with the global consciousness. I thought that was really cool. Okay. Anything else you want to add to that poll before I move to the whispers part? Go ahead.
Yeah. So the world card. So this is the advice right away, right now. So notice that the plateau you are. So look around and notice where were you 5 years ago, and now where are you? Because it's probably really different. Yeah. Right. And also honor, because there's an honoring that goes with this energy where you honor all the steps. So looking at, I'm right here in this plateau, in this gateway, looking at this really new potential world here. And but I have to say goodbye to this, even though some of it was very destructive. It was enslaving. I didn't know for some of my life I was enslaved, even all of that kind of stuff. So there was some beauty in it also, and things we liked about it. We have to say goodbye to that and be ready on the threshold, because nothing's ever going to be the same again. So you have to say goodbye and do a ritual around it, because you're not going back that way.
And again, at the end of that video, Terrence is saying, we don't know what this looks like on the other side of it. We've never been here before. Yeah. Maybe many other races on other planets have gone through this evolution, but he says, we just don't know what it looks like. And it could be absolutely amazing and fantastic to the point where we can't even imagine what it looks like. Okay, very cool. I know we have a special guest. There you go. Ashley. Welcome to the show, Ashley. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing well. Thank you for joining us. I know you were doing some personal readings there before the show, so thank you for joining us. So how do you feel? How do you like the Haida? How's the energy?
Oh my God, this place is amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've been I think this is my third time coming.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like a second home.
Like a second home? What would you say is that first kind of feeling you get when you get to Janine's place? Leaving the crazy world behind and just sitting there for a moment and taking a breath. What would you say that first energy is like?
That's exactly the first energy. I've left the crazy world behind, and you just get like this sense of peace, and I'm ready to like eat good, sleep good, and hit the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of hitting the beach, let me share a few pictures. Janine sent me a few pictures before we started the show. These are you two guys here. Where are you guys now? What's this?
I found her. She came off the ferry, and I needed to lead her to my place.
Yeah. So we're at the Haida Museum there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she was driving off the ferry, and we were texting, and I just said, I'll be in the parking lot, and I'm driving a white truck because last time she was here, I didn't have that white truck. So we just had to coordinate bumping into each other.
Yeah. Had to find this.
Here's the beach, the glorious beach there. Cool.
One of them.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
did you arrive, Ashley? Have you slept there already, or you just got there?
No, I've been here for like almost a week.
Couple
Yeah.
days? Are we
Yeah.
already? Oh, yeah, it goes fast. Oh, yeah, Sunday you arrived. Saturday? Sunday?
Friday?
Friday? Oh, man.
Yeah,
Time
it'll be
flies.
I know, right?
It'll be a week
Oh, one
tomorrow.
big mess.
Hey, very
Yeah.
good. Ashley, did you by any chance get a glimpse of the earlier conversation Janine and I were doing, or were you still doing the reading and couldn't
Oh, I
hear
was
us?
busy. I was, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
What exciting things are we looking at?
Well, we're looking at tonight, we're doing a deep dive on consciousness and the transformation that humanity is going through right now, to where inevitably we have to go to this bigger awareness that we are not alone, that we are part of a bigger whole, which is this global consciousness, but at the same time, not fear losing that individuality as we go through that process, and also, in fact, cultivate that individuality within the framework of consciousness. And we were referring to a video by Terence McKenna. Fascinating conversation. So I'll go to the second part here, which was the whisper. This is a Substack that Cliff put out a couple of days ago, August 8th. And so let me bring the link down for you guys to go read this as well. And I thought that was fascinating in the context of not just Three Eye Atlas, but some of the ET experiencers over the last couple of months, Gosha being one of them. I've talked about this with Janine on the show a couple of days ago, who were reporting infiltration in some of those relationships and channels and communications with off-worlders, those who are having those experiences here on the planet. And I thought that this whisper that Cliff High was talking about here could be an extension of that, or conversely, could be a counterpart to whatever is interfering right now with some of those communications, to maybe another player being in town here, dropping these whispers into humanity, perhaps, as Terence McKenna says here, as we are on the verge of a brand new world, kind of seemingly guiding humanity, putting thoughts into our own mind, maybe manipulating us in a bad way too. So guys, go and read this. What he was suggesting is this could be happening already, most likely by the fall and maybe into the winter time, where people are going to have these kind of like, it's not necessarily a download in the way that you and I have described this in the past, Janine, but literally like, oh, a little voice whispering to you, like that typical movie thing where you have an angel talking on one hand of your shoulder or the other shoulder, right? So that could be happening right now. So I'm curious to that, like as a very, very intuitive person also, Ashley, have you experienced this in the past? I've heard disembodied voices in my life. Mostly they had to do with the dead trying to tell me a message for somebody else who was still alive. That's how I've experienced this. So this whisper thing in the context of guiding me to do something or not do something here in the future, not necessarily in that way. So I haven't seen it that way yet. But you doing the things that you do, being very connected, have you felt this before? And do you think that this is somehow inevitable as we grow a little bit more aware of consciousness, that this is going to be part of our daily lives here?
It definitely is. It's definitely, I can see it in on my clients and in the people that I like surround myself with. More people are waking up to this whisper of intuition or knowing, and a lot of people are having a hard time struggling as to where it's coming from or how to trust it, which is really good, because you need to know that wherever this message is coming from, like even messages from the dead, which I've seen before, you have to make sure that energy is well intentioned for you. So knowing if it's coming from the light source or the dark source, which is the big battle we're in, this big spiritual battle, light against dark, knowing where the information is coming from and trusting that it's coming from source or creator, God, whatever we answer to, right? Making sure it's coming from that good place and not the dark place. And it usually has a well intention, right? If you know you got the devil on your shoulder, the angel on your shoulder, you know which one's good for you and which one's bad for you. So you have to have that differentiation between your soul and your ego as well, and trusting it.
Yeah, very good points. And I think most of us who are intuitive have had this, at least to some extent, practice listening to this voice, sometimes acting upon it, seeing the results, sometimes not acting upon it, seeing the results, and kind of like understanding a little bit more and using that muscle to make that determination. And I think what Clefai is suggesting here, if you read this article, is that all of humanity at some point here very closely are going to have to deal with this in a very big way. The question that he left unanswered was whether or not this was a third party coming into the mix here to perhaps be a counterpart to what's happening right now. We are being manipulated. We have the NASA signal that came in last October that nobody really knows what happened. It kind of changed the minds of the scientists who saw the image that came through, and it could still be permeating through humanity. And on top of that, now we have this interstellar object that is due to arrive this fall at the same time as he's picking up this whisper coming around. So, Janine, let me let you do a first pull on this. The whisper, is it a technology being used? Is this a third party coming in? Is just a natural outgrowth of maybe the planetary shield or the cage going down and our awareness going up to where we're actually hearing our higher selves speak to us now in a better fashion? Or is there like a battle royale happening right now as all these things are colliding together here in the next couple of months? What do you see?
I don't think it's one or the other right now. I think it's going to depend on everybody's individual growth and how good their boundaries are. And there's a really good chance dark entities, and I'm not a fear-based person, but it's looking like, because remember this guy when he's badly aspected, and then he's badly aspected with the death, or I call it the death card, but the moon, right? So we're absolutely it'll depend on who's hearing it and how spiritually connected they are, because they're going to use it. The bad energies are going to use this. They know that this is something, and they're going to jump on this bandwagon and utilize getting in your head.
So this is complicated here. This is complicated.
Yeah, it's not simple.
Okay, don't read the third part yet. Let me just add to what you just said here by reading these 3 paragraphs, and then we'll continue on that. He says here, it's going to absolutely freak out governments around the globe that people are hearing these whispers. That's fitting, as people reporting it will be actively losing their shit as a result of hearing what will become likely known as the whisper in the dark. Is going to be a phenomena. Many trends will grow around it. He says some people will be copycats, claiming audience with the whisper only as part of their self-aggrandizing or desire to be part of the trend. Think of the Corey Goods and the Blue Chickens and stuff like that, right? But he says mostly you'll be able to discern the difference between the real hearers of the whisper. They will have a particular look about them. So they're going to be like, what the fuck? Kind of look, I think. And that's going to be very evident compared to the ones who are just faking it here. So officialdom globally will be shitting their bricks here. Now, I don't know if they're shitting their bricks because the whisper is somehow helping humanity extricate itself from the control of the governments, or just the fact that it's existing and humanity has to deal with it. It's one more thing that the control system does not have an answer for, to which, again, they become irrelevant as humanity evolves here moving forward, which, again, brings them into this sliding slope of no longer having control over humanity. Okay, so having said that, get to that third row there. What else do you have?
Well, some of the people that aren't paying enough attention and doing the work could even mentally ill, so they could go off their like off their balance, and sort of go into states of thinking like they've gone crazy, psychosis, yeah, and maybe even killing themselves. And other people or the part about the government, that was what I was going to say. The part about the government is it somehow bypasses any kind of the programming, and that's why the government will hate it, or the old systems, because I don't believe all the governments are like that anymore. I think we've had some of those replaced by White Hat Alliance. Okay, but because that's not really evident yet, the old systems that want the old way, where they're controlling the narrative at every turn. They won't have any sway here because they're in all new territory, because these people aren't, like, they could be really, really absorbed in this, the people that this is affecting.
Okay. Let me add this last part. Hearing will be across humanity, restricted neither by status, location, age, mental facility, or seemingly any other filter. So this is like ubiquitous across the board without discrimination. Seemingly the whisper is intelligent. Hearing it only happens in the dark and never when the experiencer is being observed. That's very interesting. So hearing it takes only an instant, yet can't be forgotten, and produces a craving in many to find it again, to experience it again. Like, what was that? Did I hear that? Right? So it will be altered. It will alter the body's life of all who experience the whisper in the dark. Do they actually hear it? Or was it all in their minds? And officialdom will also want to know. So we have this mystery that's coming across here with something trying to communicate with humanity. Do you want to do clarifiers as to what that something or someone might be, Janine? Or do you see it already in the cards where you think this is landing?
I'll do a clarifier, but I just want to talk about these two. These are advice for the watching audience.
Okay.
It's not necessarily advice for the other people out there that aren't watching videos like this, because they're going to be in trouble with this whisper. Okay, but the watching audience, if they encounter the whisper in the dark, okay, so work on, agree to work with it, like believe that you can work with it. So be conscious enough to be like, okay, interact with it and say, okay, I'm hearing, are you the whisper? What do you want? Like, engage with it. Be brave enough to engage with it, and try not to deny that it's happening when it is happening. Because this card, you can get really set back if you try to deny it's happening. But just engage with it and be brave. Don't be afraid of it. And don't assume one way or the other it's to your good or your bad. Just feel your way through it and engage with it, and take personal responsibility with it. Like take control of yourself with it.
Somebody was asking, and I had that same thought, JC, could this be voice to skull technology? From what I understood, it doesn't sound like that. It's not like you're hearing your own voice or somebody else's voice in your head. It's actually that whisper in the dark to where you think, whoa, somebody just walked by me in the dark, maybe in my bedroom, whispering something. A very different phenomena than the voice to skull technology. What was that?
Like, we don't have enough problems.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no. Let's add this one.
And what was that other part you wanted me to pull two clarifiers on?
Oh, like the who and what is behind the whispering. Like, do you want to do a whole other pull on that? Do you want to do just two clarifiers? Because it's like, judging from what Cliff wrote to, it could be that this is going to be hijacked. On one hand, it might be hijacked by some who want to self-aggrandize, as he said, and be part of it. But it could be then manipulated and repeated by officialdom also to create fake whisperers at the same time, too, to kind of dissolve the accuracy of what's being told. So who knows? It might be coming both sides. But I'm curious as to the authentic one that's coming towards humanity. Where is it coming from? Who's it coming from?
Well, the real one is beautiful and loving.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've got the Empress that wants to encourage, and is very creative, and is loving, powerful, in that feminine way. It's the divine feminine. It looks like the divine feminine, and bringing a really balanced intelligence as well. So information. So the divine masculine in a way. So we got a really nice balance here of information and loving. So if the feeling should be that you are loved, respected, you're not being ridiculed with the whisper. You've got a fakery on your hands, if that's the case, or somebody hijacking it. And it should bring you wisdom and let you reflect and help you understand things in a more clear way.
Right. And going by the text, also, he was suggesting that people who had the occurrence would want it to happen again. So that kind of implies that it was a pleasant experience, and people are like, whoa, I want to hear more of that, whatever that was, right? Make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. My other question then, we'll have to go back to this. Maybe you can do a clarifier. Is this a counterbalance then to either the Three-Eye Atlas, because that too is communicating with humans? We've had that conversation with Jay Widener the other day, and or also this communication that NASA picked up with Voyager and that was analyzed by their quantum computers back in October. So is it a counterbalance to that somehow?
There we go.
Yeah.
Super shiny.
I got her to pull it. I'd say yes with that. Four of Wands is a gateway. So it was certainly part of it, or it helped get us there or open it up. It opened up a gateway.
Yeah. Coming from home base.
So it might have even released it or made it possible to happen.
Huh. Interesting question, Peace Guy. Could it be from Gaia? Is it the planet talking to us?
That was the feeling I got.
Right?
Right?
Home,
Yeah.
home
Yeah.
base. So it could be
Yeah.
everything
Divine feminine. I mean, I don't know. They've been really, think about how the deep state dark cult has really repressed that. It's like they hate the feminine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they got all their guys are their girls are guys originally. And yeah, it's just like weird how they're just trying to create, like they're in the fashion industry, trying to take all the curves out of everything and give us these very masculine bodies to aspire to, and blah, 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 all the stuff they've been doing. And then now placing all of these guys and just free for all, anybody can be a woman. Like it's just a piece of cake to be a woman. You can be a woman. If you just say you're a woman, well, I got news for you. You know what I mean? No, you can't.
But Janine, really, what is a woman?
Don't
We
even
gotta
get
go watch the documentary. We're so confused.
Don't even get me started. There's no
No, I
confusion. When you meet a true, powerful woman, you're going to know it. You know, and when you meet a beautiful, powerful man, we're both beautifully powerful, feminine and masculine, and some women will take on more masculine qualities, and they're in embodying the divine masculine. I believe that to be true, and then some. Men embody the divine feminine, but there's two. There's a feminine and a masculine to work with. David Daida says it really well in The Way of the Superior Man. Just you guys go read that book.
One of my favorites. Okay, so last question here. So I'm going to tie this back into Terrence McKenna's video where, from what he's predicting, if he were alive today and I was asking him, well, how did you predict that? He would have said, well, it was inevitable. Like it's not even a prediction. It was just a course of humanity. A lot of the things that he's saying. And so I'm curious now if this whisper is something that was triggered by us, our evolution, to where we get to a certain stage that whisper activates and guides us the rest of the way, for example. So is it triggered by us and our evolution, or is it triggered perhaps by something that's happening in the background that's trying to thwart our evolution right now? And again, it having to come maybe play a role here that otherwise it wouldn't have played at this point. How do you want to pull that card?
I'm going to let Ashley choose which pile.
Okay.
Number one. Well, we got two tarot minds here, so this will be fun.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's a kind of a speeded up card, but this card also helps. Like this guy will come in and speed things up and give you a leg up spiritually.
the energy, strength to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In the medicine cards, for you guys out there that have studied the medicine cards, it would be the horse, totem of horse, which takes you and gives you a little boost along your path and then drops you off. Okay, so somehow things got speeded up, it looks like.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think things that happened recently, maybe the last 5 years, are speeding. Maybe this mass awakening, brought this thing out, kind of brought it on, right? So it feels like a timing thing. Interesting.
You know, you say that, Janine, a lot of people are like, if they remove the the anger, the hate, the adverse reactions to the vaccine and all that, a lot of people are coming to the conclusion that all of that orchestration over the last 5 years, if anything, did exactly that: wake up humanity and make us grow a lot faster. Even though there was some hardships to go through, we're kind of seeing that as maybe a net positive here for the evolution of humans, as opposed to continuing the slavery for perhaps many more decades, right? Okay. Whoa, that's interesting. Star card.
And every hardship anyone experiences, if you really look at it properly, it's always something that'll jump you forward. You're going to become
Catalyst for growth. Yeah.
More powerful. Yeah. Now, in the past, we've got the star. What do you think of that?
That's definitely coming from like a out of world, and it's almost like this is meant to be kind of thing. Like this should be coming in, especially with the Ace of Pentacles underneath. This is like a gift coming from higher self, from source, from
It's not based
in ego. It's not government.
Yeah, it's higher than that. It's a spiritual thing. So I don't get it demonic or bad, and we've already sort of established that in the other one. Although they're going to try to piggyback for sure those energies. So people are going to need to be careful, especially at the beginning, I think. This is a safety card. So they've been watching. So energetically, this energy, whatever it is, has been watching and waiting, and feels like because we did this big jump, it's time.
It's time.
The Ace of Pentacles, time to manifest here. So it feels like we're ready. And Page of Cups here. So it could be really surprising to people. And I think initially it'll be almost like a child's voice, if that makes any sense, or innocence to it.
Very innocent.
Curiosity and innocence to it. It won't be like instructive. It's more like it'll tweak your curiosity, and
which is, especially when it's coming from source, it should sound like that. It should sound really loving, very caring, very supportive. If it's coming from the right place, if it's a little not so nice, it's not coming from where we need it to be.
Or if it's too directive.
Then
this isn't something that'll be telling you what to do. This is something that'll ask you just the perfect question at the perfect time to get you to think about what you're doing, become more conscious about it, and maybe remind you where your true heart is in a situation.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's going to be a subtlety to it. So if it's coming at you like a ton of bricks and yelling at you in the dark, okay, it's not the right voice. We don't have the right voice.
So that ET card, or the star card in the back, let me ask you if it's related to galactic center. So not the beings themselves, but the star itself, the galactic center, because just a couple of years ago, the first three or four planets in the inner of our solar system, we crossed above this M9 point. If you look at this picture here, to where now hold on, did I lose the picture? Hold on. To where we're receiving more energies and perhaps more information through those energies or comms from galactic center. And now, apparently this fall, again, now timing into this whisper that's supposed to arrive en masse this fall, all of our solar system, so all of our planets will now be across this threshold here of the galactic plane, which could mean that just that in and of itself, now suddenly we're receiving the signal that we weren't before when we were inside the muck here. Would that be also an alternative explanation there?
Nah.
No.
No.
Nope.
Sorry.
That's a big old devil right there.
We got the devil and the wheel of fortune too. The two of them came up at the same time. So the devil, bedeviled, and the wheel of fortune. I feel like it's more, I want to say random, because the wheel of fortune is, I don't know how that could be though, or from somewhere totally different.
It's from somewhere totally different, somewhere we're not familiar with, but most people aren't familiar with their spiritual side, right? So if we've never had a connection, you don't know what you're talking to, you don't know where it's coming from.
And the wheel of fortune it's often something that's been there all along, but some kind of destiny. It's a destiny thing. So it's
Or flipping and removing the rule of the devil?
Yeah. Yeah, that's making sense. Yeah, good one. Yeah, as the devil energy or demonics leave, okay, so this thing's allowed to surface again. I feel like the repression of this is what's bringing it. This repressed it, that energy on in the world, and all that muck and loosh and what they were creating that made them happy and feel comfortable. That's going down, and because of that big switch, this thing's allows it to come up, which makes sense. It feels safe to resurface.
Well, okay. I have to go back to the galactic plane, though. So the devil was in control, messages not coming true, and now we're getting the flipping of this. Perhaps again because we're having access to more energy, more light, and more information. Thus, the devil not having as much control over the planet, and that's why we're seeing the flipping of his power here. Still could be related. No?
Yep, could be related.
Well,
yep.
Kills. Somebody said in the chat. Yeah. Okay. Man, we're already at the hour mark. That was fascinating. Thank you, guys, for joining us here tonight. We have some prizes to give away. Ginny and I wanted to share this with you because, again, it's cool to look at the news and get into the nitty gritty, and sometimes it feels like we're getting caught in the weed with all the little stuff that's being thrown at us and all the manipulation. And I wanted to have this show with you guys to maybe look at the bigger picture and see where we individually and collectively are going. So I hope we did a good job with you guys tonight, sharing some of these deeper concepts. But if you go see the video I've included in the chat tonight from Terrence McKenna, it'll give you some ideas. And of course, you can go read Cliff's Substack. Let me bring that one down for you guys as well in the live chat if you want to go and check that one out with respect to the Whisper in the Dark. So there you go. That's the link in the live chat. Now, Janine, let's give away. So we have 2 T-shirts to give away. Let's give Ashley the honors. Ashley, have you played this game where we ask the audience a question? We ask the audience a question, and we're looking for a one-word answer, something relatively easy, and then we'll pick a winner from the live chat. So, what question would you ask?
Oh my God.
It could be about anything. It could be about
anything we talked about, your first feeling when you get hit the Hideaway, where you went, anything like people were listening tonight.
Yeah.
Ooh, when did I arrive?
There you go. Okay. When did Ashley arrive in the Hideaway? Guys, while we wait for that to populate, we're looking for the answers there in the live chat. Of course, you can find Janine, as always, at tarotbyjanine.com. There for about the price of a cup of coffee. I get all the news there on a monthly basis. So a lot of world news videos, including a monthly zodiac spread. So check it out, tarotbyjanine.com, and you can check her astrology, our tarot classes and the medicine classes, of course, all on sale now at 50% off here on the Academy. You have about 2.5 hours left on the coupon this evening. Summer 50 is a coupon code there to get 50% off. So that's beyondmystic.academy. So, Ashley, let me know when to stop the feed.
Whoa. Okay, stop.
Okay, hold on. Last Friday, P. Futrell? Yeah, Futrell? I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but yeah, congratulations. So send us an email. Go to beyondmystic.net. Go to the top of the page, tech support. Let us know your size, and we'll get Carla to send that out to you ASAP. So we have one more of those T-shirts to give away. Let's go back to the live chat. Janine, what question would you ask the audience?
So those of you who have been watching me for a long time, Ashley and I used to do a show together, and it was lots of fun, and we had a catchphrase, and it was also the name of the show. What was it?
What was it? Yes. Be a psychic spy, if you remember. Guys, if you haven't seen the Psychic Spies, also, Janine and Meg recorded this episode on Tuesday. This is free on Rumble now. We used to have it on the Insider Access Pass. And thank you to everyone who supports us there on the show with the pay-per-views and the Insider Access Pass. It makes it possible for us to do all of these free shows and these production shows here on Rumble. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Janine, what was perhaps the biggest highlight here of this Psychic Spies episode on the Obamas?
Well, the fact that
It's, no, don't talk about Michael's penis. That's not it.
okay, that's been established pretty much.
Right.
No, not that. No, it was the fact that the kids, who their real parents are,
Yeah.
like, and just how they covered that up, and just and also like that none of their history is true. Neither of these two.
Yeah.
The parents there, the big Mike and Obama himself, they weren't anything they said they were. None of it. Not even culturally. I didn't even get that. This could really offend, but not trying to offend. I don't think there's any African American in Obama whatsoever. I think he's more like Philippine, maybe, or some kind of, and white. So he's absolutely not an African American of any kind, from what I got. That's kind of looking like that could be true when you dig in deep into his true parentage.
So maybe not even a Kenyan, as some of people are reporting. Well, if you're gonna fabricate somebody, you have all these layers of fakery. Who knows? Yeah, you might be right.
Văn Tâm vẫn xấu hổ không nói lên câu nương từ cùng với tướng công uống chén rượu hợp cần nào. Ngược lại Dương Lăng khá nóng nảy, chủ động nói: tướng công mời ngồi, để đô gia dâng trà cho chàng giải khát. Đừng Nhất Tiên cười sằng sặc đưa một chén trà lạnh cho Dương Lăng. Còn Tuyết Lý Mai và Ngọc Bình Xuân thì đẩy Cao Văn Tâm thẹn thùng ngượng ngập lên ghế ngồi, còn nâng chân nàng lên tạo thành tư thế bắt chéo chân. Dương Lăng bất đắc dĩ chỉ muốn đuổi ba kẻ gây sự kia ra ngoài. Hắn bất chấp khó khăn đi qua, đưa thẳng chén trà qua. Cao Văn Tâm vừa muốn tiếp, Đừng Nhất Tiên đã ngăn cản nói: nào có kiểu dâng trà như thế chứ, Cao tỷ nhi, lúc trước dâng trà cho lão già thế nào thì giải lại cho tân đương tử của chúng ta đi. Ngọc Đơn Xuân ngẩn ngơ, lúc trước dâng trà, hình như lão già vừa vào phòng để ôm ta lên giường. Thật ra có một lần ngái là tí trà lên đỉnh mông của người ta, run lẩy bẩy làm người ta sợ ướt giường nhưng nằm yên không dám động đậy, mặc ngại kinh bạch. Nhớ lại tình cảnh trong phòng của mình, Ngọc Đơn Xuân không nhìn được đỏ mặt. Nàng biết hát bí khúc, cho nên động tác dâng trà cho lão gia nào có khó gì. Ngọc Đơn Xuân lập tức bước đi nhẹ nhàng đến trước mặt Cao Văn Tâm, lượn lờ là nước bái một cái, gương mặt xinh đẹp nghiêng sang hai bên, hai tay giơ cao quá đầu, yêu kiều nói: lão gia cực khổ, nô gia dâng trà cho lão gia. Thấy chưa, nhanh lên, phải như vậy đó. Việc này chỉ nói thì cũng thôi đi, nhưng mà thực sự phải làm theo động tác của đám nâng sai. Ngọc Đơn Xuân làm thực sự là thiên kiều bái mị, một đại lão già như ta mà làm động tác này thì sẽ ra bộ dạng quỷ gì đây? Không dám kháng nghị với Đừng Nhất Tiên đang nháo động, Dương Lăng liền uy hiếp Cao Văn Tâm: đương tử thực sự muốn tướng công dâng trà như vậy sao? Bội Cao Văn Tâm luống cuống vội nhìn về phía Đường Nhất Tiên. Tuyết Lý Mai: muốn. Bác kể giờ thiên hạ không loạn lập tức trả lời: được, quân tử báo thù 10 năm chưa muộn. Tướng công bái thì bái, nhận đại lễ như vậy của tướng công thì tự mình gánh lấy hậu quả đó. Hắn uy hiếp như vậy trước mắt mọi người, ngược lại lại khơi dậy ngạo khí của Cao Văn Tâm. Nàng lập tức thẳng người dậy, khiêu khích liếc mắt nhìn Dương Lăng, hơi nhếch cảm lên, ra vẻ đang chờ hắn dâng trà. Dương Quốc Công xấu hổ e sợ dâng trà, lại uống một ly rượu hợp cần dưới sự chủ trì của Cao Văn Tâm. Ba vị cô nương hoan hô một tiếng, lúc này hít ra khỏi cửa. Tuyết Lý Mai chạy được một nửa lại vèo một tiếng ngọt trở về, kéo cửa thò đầu vào thăm dò, cười hi hi nói: tỷ, đêm nay lửa giận của lão gia rất lớn. Lửa giận rất lớn. Văn Tâm tỷ tự mình cầu phúc đi nha. Tiếng cười càn rỡ bị Cao Văn Tâm đóng cửa phòng ngăn lại bên ngoài. Nàng không yên lòng xoay đầu lại, liếc thấy Dương Lăng đang vội vã cởi bỏ y phục, động tác hơi gấp rút, suýt chút đã đạp nhầm chân váy mà té ngã rồi. Cao Văn Tâm không kìm nổi mà phì một tiếng bật cười ra, trên mặt lập tức nở ra hai đóa hoa đào. Trong phòng rất yên tĩnh. Hai người mặc áo lót rất ngay chỉnh tề, yên lặng nằm ập trên giường cách còn nửa thước. Chậu than hồng đo đỏ đang cháy bùng lên, ánh lửa đỏ phản chiếu lên thân người bọn họ. Cao Văn Tâm khẽ nhúc nhích đầu, hơi e sợ nói: tướng công. chút ngủ đi. Đang ngủ mà. Muội muốn nói tướng công giận sao? Bọn tên Nhi chỉ đùa thôi, huynh đừng trách. Ta không giận đâu. Dương Lăng hơi trừng mắt, khóe miệng lộ ra nụ cười giảo hoạt. Đêm này ta là tân nương tử, nàng mới là tân lang, phải ngủ thế nào thì nàng nói là được, ta không có ý kiến. Cao Văn Tâm nghe xong vừa giận vừa thẹn, một cô gái như muội, huynh muốn muội làm sao chứ? Lại yên tĩnh hồi lâu, hô hấp của Cao Văn Tâm ngày càng dồn dập. Dương Lăng cảm thấy đã đùa đủ rồi, cũng không đành lòng để gia nhân khó xử mà cô phụ một đêm xuân. Đang ngốc xoay người qua thì đột nhiên chân đụng vào một bàn chân bóng loáng mềm mịn đang nhẹ nhàng dựa vào, nơm nớp lo sợ mà dán sát bắt chân hắn vuốt tới vuốt đùi. Dương Lăng suýt chút thì bật cười thành tiếng, nhà đầu kia thật sự muốn chủ động khiêu khích, hành động theo trách nhiệm của trượng phu sao? Nhưng Cao Văn Tâm chỉ đụng hắn vậy thôi, chứ còn không có động tĩnh gì nữa. Chốc lát sau lại có một bàn tay nhỏ nhắn khẽ khẽ mò qua, kéo cánh tay hắn, dịu dàng gọi tướng công. Dương Lăng quay đầu lại, Cao Văn Tâm em lẹ dịu dàng nói: tướng công, người ta biết sai rồi, nguyện trừ tướng công trách phạt. Nàng đáng thương lắm, truyền của nàng người ta không làm được. Dương Lăng bị dáng vẻ yêu kiều của nàng chọc cười ha ha. Cao Văn Tâm đã xấu hổ đến nóng bừng cả mặt, bỗng nhiên đôi tay kia nhẹ nhàng bị đẩy ra. Nàng nhìn thấy một đôi mắt đen nhánh lấp láy, sau đó đôi mắt ngập tràn dục vọng kia tiến sát lại. Đôi môi anh đào bị hút đến một cách chặt chẽ. Trong đầu Cao Văn Tâm oanh một tiếng trống rỗng, thân thể mềm mại lập tức căng cứng lên, sau đó hoàn toàn mềm nhũn. Đầu lưỡi Dương Lăng linh hoạt mở hai hàm răng khép chặt của nàng ra, bắt được chiếc lưỡi thơm tho mềm mại kia, ra sức mút lấy. Văn Tâm chỉ cảm thấy toàn bộ linh hồn bé bỏng đều bị hắn hút bay lên, cả người giống không biết đang ở đâu. Bàn tay Dương Lăng lần mò xuống dưới eo của nàng, lật mình nằm xuống ôm lấy thân mình Cao Văn Tâm đặt tiếp trên mình. Thân hình Cao Văn Tâm thon thả răng ròng, bờ vai vô cùng gầy yếu. Lúc này, chiếc áo lót bằng tơ trong suốt không thể che hết thân thể thướt tha. Bờ mông của nàng căng tròn, chiếc quần lót tơ lụa màu trắng ngà bó sát trên người. Nhìn thấy cả cái mông, nơi sâu thẳm nho nhỏ sau thắt lưng cũng có thể nhìn thấy rõ ràng. Ánh lửa phản chiếu lộ ra màu da thịt mê người, bờ mông tròn vo tựa như một trái đào mật chín mọng dưới chiếc eo nhỏ nhắn vậy, da mỏng đến muốn nứt ra, hương diễm ướt át. Ấu nương Ngọc Nhi, Tiết Nhi, thậm chí là Mã Đình Nhi quyến rũ trời sinh, tuổi đều còn nhỏ, tuy đẹp nhưng không toát ra được thần thái của nữ tử thành thục này. Cao Văn Tâm là một cô gái thành thục từ ngoại hình đến tinh thần, bộ ngực sữa cao nhất, dù là nằm trên giường cũng khó che giấu được đường cong động lòng người kia. Vòng eo duyên dáng được nắm chặt lấy, phảng phất như bất cứ lúc nào cũng có thể bẻ gãy vậy. Vòng xoáy nhỏ nhắn trên chiếc bụng bằng phẳng xinh đẹp linh động. Đẹp nhất chính là đôi gót sen kia. Khi Dương Lăng ở Giang Nam đã từng rửa chân cho Văn Tâm nên đã biết chân nàng rất đẹp từ lâu rồi, rất có tiềm lực làm một người mẫu chân đẹp. Lúc này phản chiếu trong ánh lửa của chậu than, ánh lửa đỏ nóng rực, đôi chân tuyết trắng trần trụi tựa như một đôi trang sức hồng ngọc thiên nhiên vậy, phấn hồng, nhẵn mịn, trong suốt, lấp lánh. Nhẹ nhàng nâng đôi chân nhỏ nhắn của nàng lên, Cao Văn Tâm lập tức ngượng ngùng kéo chân gấm che chắn tấm thân mê người kia, chỉ để lại đôi chân đẹp bên ngoài, lót ngọc tẹ cong lên tạo thành một đường cong hoàn mỹ với mu bàn chân mảnh mai duyên dáng giống như có thể câu mất hồn phách của người ta vậy. Dương Lăng không kìm nổi lòng, nhẹ nhàng dùng ngón cái vuốt về lấy. Cao Văn Tâm chỉ cảm thấy hai chân vừa ngứa lại vừa nhột, theo bản năng nuôi chân về, lại không thể tránh khỏi một cảm giác nhột ngứa từ hai bên ngón chân chạy dọc theo khắp bắp đùi, khiến lòng nàng cũng run rẩy theo. Cao Văn Tâm được Dương Lăng âu yếm hôn môi đến choáng váng mơ mơ màng, từng chiếc áo lót quần lót yếm lót không cánh mà bay, thân thể mềm mại trắng mịn như tuyết, trong suốt chân nắng lộn ra. Đường cong mượt mà như nước độc lòng người còn chưa được nhìn kỹ thì Cao Văn Tâm đã một tiếng, đỏ mặt ôm chặt lấy hắn, hai thân thể trần truồng tiếp xúc với nhau. sóng mắt làng ếch ác mông lung như biển khói, xấu hổ nỉ non, tướng công, người ta trong lòng người ta rất thích. Hương vị nữ nhân sâu kín dần dần toát ra, sự dè dặt hàm xúc kiêu ngạo của nàng càng thêm mê người so với sự dâm đãng. Trong lòng Dương Lăng nóng lên, ôm chặt lấy thân hình mềm mại không xương của nàng. Phần cứng rắn mạnh mẽ kia đột nhiên tiến vào nơi mềm mại ẩm ướt của nàng. Màn gấm nhẹ nhàng lay động, Đỗ Uyên Ương đùa nước trên tấm màn, giống như đang sống vậy. Màn trướng buông rổ lay động như nước, giống như hồ nước xanh xanh, nơi Đỗ Uyên Ương đùa giỡn vậy. Gối theo Uyên Ương kề nhau mà ngủ, tất thảy đều uyên loan đảo phượng. Dương Lăng thủ đoạn cao minh trong chuyện mây nước, cả Văn Tầm tựa như một chiếc thuyền phập phồng trên đỉnh sóng vậy. Một đêm phong lưu, thân thể Dương Lăng hiện tại hơn cả năm xưa. Đáng thương cho Cao Văn Tâm là lần đầu chưa từng chịu mưa gió cuồng phong của hắn. Cao Văn Tâm vừa đau vừa đẹp, lên tiên muốn chết mấy lượt. Đến khi phải đau khổ cầu xin, Dương Lăng mới tận hứng mà dừng tay, phù thề ôm nhau mà ngủ. Trời đã sáng trưng, Dương Lăng có thói quen dậy sớm, cả đêm vui vẻ nhễ nhại, hôm nay rốt cuộc cũng ngủ quá giờ. Hắn ngáp dài một hơi, vươn cái lưng mệt mỏi ra, đảo mắt nhìn qua